Tonight was the follow-up to the horror show at Extreme Rules last night. Now, we all know that Extreme Rules was not very good. And with rumors circulating on the internet today via the dirt sheets that Monday Night Raw was actually completely rewritten because of Vince McMahon, obviously, this show tonight, I'm going to be blunt with you, I'm going to be honest with you, not like Extreme Rules. Tonight's show was the opposite. Tonight's show, I thought, was actually pretty decent. Believe it or not, I am not trolling you. This is not a rib. This is not a joke. Monday Night Raw actually was not that bad. WWE made sense of the Sasha Banks Monday Night Raw Women's Championship, Asuka situation, an authority figure actually got involved and made sense of it all. And I actually enjoyed it. Kairi Sane, the last night that she is a WWE employee, she went one-on-one with Bayley. An unsanctioned match between The Big Show and Randy Orton before Randy Orton goes on to challenge, I assume, the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler again in the ring before SummerSlam. No, that is not a joke. It's legitimately happening. I don't know why, but WWE is trying to drive people away from actually watching the show with more Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins, I don't know where this storyline is going. I don't know where the Messiah Greater Good storyline is going. Now Aleister Black can join Rey Mysterio in the hospital after tonight on Monday Night Raw. And why are the number one contenders for the tag team championships, Andrade and Garza, losing in a non-title match against the champions when they should already be the number one contenders for the tag team championships? We're going to go over it all, man, like nobody else does. Right here for your Monday Night Raw review on Off the Script. One take. I am the demo god.
Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, it's the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
You know, I really did mean what I said in the intro of the podcast tonight. I really did mean it. Tonight's Monday Night Raw was not that bad of a show tonight. And then I sat down with the main event, and I see the Big Show, and I see Randy Orton, and it's the year 2020, and this is the main event of Monday Night Raw on July 20th, 2020, folks. We are 4 weeks away from the 2020 version of SummerSlam, SummerScam, and we have Randy Orton and Big Show in the main event. And I'm thinking to myself, should I go back and re-record the intro to the podcast? Do I really still feel that way? So I kept it in. Main event aside, I really do think that tonight was a decent episode of Monday Night Raw. No, I don't owe Bruce Pritchard an apology. No, I will not get on my hands and knees and tickle Vince McMahon's balls like these UK geeks. Tonight was decent. It's not a step in the right direction. The show sucks. But tonight was better. And I think I feel this way, and I think a lot of people are going to feel this way, because last night was so fucking terrible. I don't know how you could get worse than last night. But we're going to go over it. Thank you guys so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw review for July 20th, 2020. Sponsored tonight by the one, the only, BlueChew.com. My good friends over at Blue Chew with me all year long. So thank you to my good friends over at Blue Chew. Tonight's Raw featured the fallout from Extreme Rules 2020, the horror show, and it really did live up to its name, legitimately. Not because the wrestling on the show was that bad, but the creative was an absolute horror show coming out of the pay-per-view Sunday night. Big Show is out for revenge. 2020, folks. Big Show. Big Show is out for revenge against Randy Orton, and the two will have an unsanctioned match, which I still don't understand. These motherfuckers, man, WWE, they sanction an eye for an eye match where somebody legitimately has to pull their opponent's eyeball out of its socket. But tonight is an unsanctioned match. Why? But last night, Rollins and Mysterio was a full-blown WWE production, and somebody gave the green light and a thumbs up to that match last night. I don't really understand that. It's the little things that really bug me. It's the little things that irk the shit out of me. Orton previously took out Christian in an unsanctioned match, if you even want to call it that, and put Edge on the shelf with a torn triceps coming out of WWE Backlash, the greatest wrestling match that was never between those two guys. Christian was on the show tonight as well from his home via Zoom. So he said something in regards to Randy Orton tonight. WWE will have a big question mark looming over their head after what happened with Sasha Banks and Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. My thought going into this was they're going to fuck this up. They are going to mess this up somehow, and I was looking forward to seeing what they were going to do as far as a follow-up to that most on tonight's show. And believe it or not, they did not disappoint me. They actually did make some sense of it, and we're going to talk about that tonight. Speaking of the eye for an eye, Rollins is going to speak after he took care of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio has now been vanquished for the greater good of Monday Night Raw. I still don't know what the greater good of Monday Night Raw is. The greater good would be getting rid of Bruce and getting rid of Vince and making sure everybody's wearing a fucking mask and everybody's doing the right thing as far as COVID-19. There was a big story in the New York Post today about somebody spying on Ric Flair. Somebody, paparazzi, was filming Ric Flair. He was going through a drive-through Starbucks without wearing a mask. This is a big deal to people. Now, normally, in my opinion, if you are wearing a mask inside your own vehicle and I look at you and I'm in the middle lane and I see some fucking geek rolling up, to the side of me, and I see him, he's wearing masks, he's wearing gloves in his own car. Bro, I'm going to look at you like you are the dumbest fuck that I've ever looked at. I find that to be incredibly bizarre. You are an absolute tool. Really. Please, live your life. Do not live in fear. I get it. There's something out there, but Jesus Christ, when you got to go to that extent, you're just a weirdo. Now, Ric Flair is a different situation. He's 70 fucking years old. Wear your goddamn mask. And his wife has COVID. And he's living in the same household as her with COVID. And apparently she is seriously ill. But apparently Ric Flair said he is not sick whatsoever. He is asymptomatic, apparently. So that's the big story. That was the big story coming out of the New York Post in regards to the WWE. Ric Flair, he was not at the Performance Center for this particular set of tapings, but that was the big thing going around in the WWE. I don't even know why I went on and talked about that, but here we are. I don't know. I'm all over the place tonight. But Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, what's happening next? How is Rey's vision? Where does Seth Rollins go going into SummerSlam? What will WWE do with him? What's the greater good? I have no fucking idea. So we'll talk about that. The Raw Women's Championship, Bayley versus Kairi Sane. Tonight was Kairi Sane's last WWE match, reportedly. For all we know, that she could have signed a new deal at the end of the tapings this afternoon, so we don't really know. But according to the dirt sheets, tonight was her last match in WWE. Apollo Crews is the United States champion, whether you want to believe WWE or not. And MVP is going to come out and claim tonight that he is the real United States champion. And that was pretty much Monday Night Raw. We got Andrade and Garza versus the Street Profits as well, and we'll go over that. So we got a lot to talk about on the show this evening. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys do that. I appreciate all that has tweeted with me all weekend. So thank you guys very much for that. If you missed the Extreme Rules podcast on Sunday night, go and check that out. I want to apologize, and Jesse kind of knows that his mic wasn't the best as well. But Jesse is with me on Wednesdays, and I want to make mention of this, even though I really shouldn't, because it's my show and I'm going to do what I want, but I always take constructive criticism when it's delivered respectfully. Now, I know Jesse's mic isn't the best, and I know a lot of people did not want Jesse on the show for whatever reason. People might have tuned in and seen Jesse and seen that I was with somebody on the pay-per-view review, and then they might not have watched because they didn't see me by myself. Some people were saying, oh, Jesse held me back from being really animated, or Jesse held me back from ripping into the show like you guys expected me to. I don't know what you were listening to, but I shit all over the show for 2 straight hours. So I don't really understand why you think Jesse, somebody that I know very well, is going to hold me back. I would never not be myself in front of him. Yes, his microphone wasn't all that well. I am going to try and rectify that sooner rather than later. And if you guys are not watching on Wednesday night when he is primarily on to cover Dynamite, because everybody enjoys AEW more so than WWE nowadays, and he certainly does. If you are missing his view on AEW from a real fan, then it's your loss. So that's all I'm going to say. But if you guys tuned into the review last night, thank you so very much for tuning in on YouTube. We are almost at 50,000 views, 2,500 likes. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. I love you. And if everybody watched that and you ended up subscribing, I love you even more, man. Thank you guys so very much, and welcome to all the new people who came over from the Extreme Rules weekend. If you missed anything over the weekend as well, Off the Script 335 was great. Go and check that out. Saturday's upload was great. We did a live stream on Sunday afternoon, pre-show for Extreme Rules. Some good stuff there, man, so go and check it out if you did not catch it live this weekend. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 if you want to support the podcast through Patreon. And as always, you guys know the deal, man. Blue Chew is sponsoring the show tonight. We'll talk about them a little bit later in the show. Big announcement here, man. First of all, shout out to Salrex, number one. The guy goes above and beyond for me. I don't even ask him to do anything. He's just coming up with ideas, and the guy's a fucking genius, man. I got a new shirt coming out. It's unlike anything that I've recently put out. Don't worry, it doesn't have my fucking face on it. You're not going to be wearing me on the shirt. I know some of you guys didn't want to walk around with my fucking face plastered all over a goddamn t-shirt, but this is actually very off the script-esque. Now, we all know that the show sucks. Not this show, but Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and WWE in general sucks. A lot of people right now, are not watching. They're not watching it. They'd rather watch me. They'd rather watch somebody else in the community talk about WWE instead of watching it themselves. I do God's work for you guys. And then I had to put it on a t-shirt. So if you guys are interested, man, look at this thing. Doing God's Work. The official new Off the Script t-shirt. If you guys are interested in that, leave me a comment down below in the description. If so, it will be on sale before the end of the week. Just got to get it approved by Bonfire, and we are good to go, man. So that is the new t-shirt coming soon to bonfire.com. Doing God's work right here on Off the Script, man. So let me know what you guys think about that. And thanks to Sal Rex, cuz he's just a fucking beast. No question. All right, guys, let's get into the show. Enough fooling around here. Monday Night Raw. Show opened up with Seth Rollins. Because everybody's wondering about Rey Mysterio's eyeball. The fake eyeball that was Rey Mysterio popping out of his eye last night on Extreme Rules. Seth got in the ring. He paused. People were booing in the Performance Center. Shout out, listen. I got to give credit where credit is due. I don't know how much of the sound there is genuine. I don't know what WWE does post-production with the crowd. But whoever is doing the chants and whoever is kind of amping up the attitude there and the sound inside the Performance Center during the tapings by banging on the glass, chanting, whatever they're doing, keep it up, man. I'm loving it so far, and it's gotten much better over the last couple of weeks. So whoever you are inside the Performance Center really giving that taping or the tapings energy like that, continue doing it, man. I'm really enjoying what you're doing right now. So Seth Rollins said that at Extreme Rules last night, Rey Mysterio's eye came out of its socket. He then said that he wanted to be honest. He said he understood what the eye for an eye stipulation entailed, but that is what happened in the match last night, and it would stay with him for the rest of his life. He said that the visual image of Rey holding his bloody eye in his hand will stay in his memories forever. The amount of just garbage coming out of Monday Night Raw over the last 5 years will live with me forever. So, me and Rollins have something in common, bro, but at least I got my eyeball. I got two working eyes. Sometimes I wish I didn't because this show was so bad. Rollins said the picture was disgusting, barbaric, and more than he expected. He said that image made him sick to his stomach, both figuratively and literally. Rollins said that he's been asked whether he regrets the match or not. Instead of answering it, he asked the fans whether or not they regret it because they made him what he is. Oh, I regret watching it because I thought going in it was fucking stupid. I'll tell you that right now. And I made you what you are today, a loser? Rollins is a loser because of me. Why don't you look at the fucking people writing this show? Blame them, don't blame me. I'm just here giving you the cold hard facts, Messiah. So, he said that we made him what he is today. Rollins then blamed Rey Mysterio for asking the eye for an eye match in the first place and said the actions have consequences to them. Rollins said that what happened to Rey was unfortunate, but that we couldn't afford to dwell in the past. Rollins said the beauty of it all is that Rey Mysterio is out of sight. Ha 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 ha. Thank you, Seth Rollins. I'm not sure if your new gig is that of a comedian. Rey Mysterio is now out of sight. Because of that, Seth said that Raw can now fulfill its potential and be the greater good as promised. Unless the ratings go up, bro, I don't know what the fuck the greater good is in regards to Seth Rollins. Before he could say anything else, Aleister Black walked out. Listen, I've said this time and time and time again. Rollins, in this role, has done it very well. The promo was good. His delivery was good. What he said was good. His tone and his attitude towards everybody and everything was good. I just don't understand where this is going. I really don't. And then Aleister Black came out, and I have even more questions in regards to Aleister Black. I don't know. Aleister Black came out, he told Rollins to not put blame for this situation on anyone else but himself. He said he was out there to rectify everything and then charged to the ring. Murphy tried to stop him, but Black took care of him pretty quickly. He then ran down to the ring to chase Rollins. Eventually, Murphy charged back and held him up. From there, Black and Murphy fought around the ringside area as Seth looked on from the ring, and Black then charged back into the ring, which caused Rollins to escape, and we went to commercial break, and we were getting Black versus Rollins in the open of Monday Night Raw. Aleister Black, we all know, doesn't feel the same. He doesn't look the same. He doesn't sound the same from NXT. They humanized Aleister Black on Monday Night Raw, and they're fucking stupid for doing so. He doesn't feel special whatsoever. Meanwhile, the guy, when he was in NXT, all we thought about was, this is the guy on Monday night or Friday night. This is the new face of the company. There's no way you could possibly fuck this guy up. And WWE has seemingly done that. Now, with Aleister Black and Seth Rollins, I would actually give a shit about this match if WWE hadn't done it 67 fucking times already. How many times can we see Aleister Black and Seth Rollins in the ring before we don't care anymore? Now, granted, it's a great match. It's a great matchup. Both guys are very good at what they do. But that doesn't mean I need to see it every other fucking week. What WWE should have done here is save this match and not do it at all when they did it, because this is a quintessential, picture-perfect SummerSlam match for both Rollins and Aleister Black. And now, if it happens again at SummerSlam, who could possibly give a shit at SummerSlam since we've seen it so many times? That is what I have an issue with. The other issue that I have a problem with is, why does Aleister Black give a shit about Rey Mysterio? Has anybody asked that question? Have you asked yourself that question? If you're a listener of the podcast or a listener of this podcast and another podcast, is that podcaster asking that question? Why does Aleister Black give a shit about Rey Mysterio or what happened to Rey Mysterio? Or why does he give a shit about what Rollins did to Rey Mysterio? Has he expressed why? Has it been explained why? The answer is no. All I want is some explanation to why Aleister Black is out there giving a shit about Rey Mysterio. Are they fucking dinner buddies? Are they road buddies? Do they room together? Right? Does he know his family? Has he trained his son? Something needs to be said as far as an explanation. We've got nothing. We've got nothing. Why does Aleister Black care about Humberto Carrillo? Why does he care about Humberto? Again, is Aleister Black and Humberto dinner buddies? Do they go to Taco Tuesday on the road? What is it? Seriously. I don't know. Do they sit next to each other in catering? Every week, do they sit next to each other in catering? Just expressing road stories and telling road stories and going over shit. Hey, man, I like this video game. What prestige are you in Call of Duty? Seriously. What light level are you in Destiny? Have you played Ghost of Tsushima yet? The fuck are they? I need an explanation for why Aleister Black is out there legitimately giving a shit. He just comes out there, says what he says. And what did he say here? He told Rollins to not put blame on anyone for this situation but himself. That's the explanation. That's what you're going with here. I'd love to know why. We've gotten no answers in regards to anything Aleister Black has done. I don't know what the greater good is. I don't know what Rollins is fighting for. I don't know where this is going. I don't know Aleister Black's, situation with Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo. I don't know anything. Nobody knows anything here. All I want is a fucking answer. This storyline legitimately makes no sense whatsoever. It's going nowhere. Yet I'm supposed to care, because Rey Mysterio got his eyeball popped out. Now we got Rollins and Black. Murphy is in Rollins' corner. This one was very good. Rollins wins via pinfall. And by the way, here's another fun fact for you. Aleister Black, the only other time Aleister Black has lost on the main roster was in a 3-on-1. I don't even want to say it was a gauntlet match. It was like, a series of matches back to back to back with the club when the club was there. He beat Gallows, he beat Anderson, and then he lost to AJ Styles. That really doesn't constitute as a one-on-one match. I could actually sit here and tell you it was a one-on-one match, but the one-on-one match is just them and not the club. Not all of the club. It should have been just Styles and Black. So I'm going to let that one slide, even though it was a series of one-on-one matches, but not a solo one-on-one match. That is the only time Aleister Black lost, and that was on the road to WrestleMania, and it was simply done to enhance the Undertaker and AJ Styles storyline going into WrestleMania. This was the only other loss for Aleister Black on Monday Night Raw in all of that time. This was legitimately his first singles solo loss on Monday Night Raw. Do you think WWE made mention of that anywhere in this match with Seth Rollins tonight? Of course not, because wins and losses don't mean anything. So fuck me for actually caring. Or fuck me for actually realizing that's the case with Aleister Black tonight. Aleister Black loses. Yes, he lost. Because I love seeing Aleister Black, a guy with massive potential, a guy that could be the face of this brand, lose when he himself needs momentum. Why would you book this? Another thing, why would you book this match after Rollins just beat Mysterio, knowing that Rollins can't lose coming out of the pay-per-view and him beating Rey Mysterio? Also, when Aleister Black needs a victory himself. I don't get it. Who writes this shit? How does this just get swept under the rug? How does this go and just be ignored by everybody looking at the script? That script had to be passed around fucking 1,000 times today, and nobody realized any of this. And I'm sitting here, I watched the show for 3 hours, I come on here and do this shit in legitimately one fucking take, and nobody could realize the wrong in this show. Unreal. So we go to commercial break. I'm only taking it after the commercial break because this match was littered with 2 commercial breaks. Black went for a black mass. Rollins countered it into a roll-up. That was very nice. Black kicked out and went for a black mass again. Rollins countered with a super kick. He then hit a second one. Instead of going for the cover, Rollins climbed to the top rope and called for Murphy. Black followed Rollins up to the top and tried to lift him off the top rope. Rollins fought him off and tried to target Black's injured arm. He draped the arm over the top rope and then tried to springboard for a clothesline. Black countered it with a kick, but Rollins countered further and hit a stomp. Rollins made the cover. 1, 2, 3. Aleister Black loses clean on Monday Night Raw. After the match, Rollins sent Murphy back into the ring to beat on Black. They were going up the ramp. He sent Murphy back into the ring to beat on Aleister Black. They decimated Aleister Black, including tossing him into the ring barrier multiple times. Rollins then continued to destroy Black's arm. I'll talk about that in a second. He smashed it on the ring post and then slammed it onto the mat. From there, Murphy lifted Black onto the announce table. Rollins then slammed Black's arm into the table multiple times. He was pretty much high-fiving the top of the announce desk here, and they played it off as something, oh my God, excruciatingly brutal. So he slammed Black's arm into the table multiple times while he yelled, "When is enough enough?" Rollins then placed a part of the announce table on the arm, delivered this stomp, and then walked off with Murphy after this beatdown. Good match. Again, all of my concerns I just brought to you guys, so that is what I think of that. Now, we got an eye for an eye match with Rey Mysterio and Rollins at Extreme Rules. Are we going to get an arm for an arm match now at SummerSlam between Black and Rollins? Or maybe it's a hand for a hand match. I don't know where they're going. I legitimately don't even give a shit. I don't give a shit. Aleister Black should be in contention. He should have been in contention multiple times for either a top title or a United States title on this show, and has not done either of them yet. What the fuck are they waiting for? This guy's 35 years old. What are you fucking waiting for with this guy? I don't get it. How is this guy booked to perfection in NXT and they still don't know what the fuck they're doing with him on the main roster? It boggles my mind. It really does. Good match. I don't know where any of this is going, and quite honestly, I don't care. The announce team recapped the events last night of the United States Championship situation. MVP Apollo Crews in the United States title. Ron Simmons, another aging legend in the PC, go figure, was shown talking to MVP and Bobby Lashley backstage. He told them that there was a better way to be champion before walking off. That's all he said. Then he fist pumped both Bobby Lashley and MVP. From there, R-Truth came into shot and commented on MVP's United States Championship belt. He said, "Hey, bro, it's a nice replica." And MVP said, "What are you talking about, replica? This is the real deal. This is the new United States Championship." From there, MVP invited Truth to come down to the ring with them. He declined, and then right from behind, soon after, came Shelton Benjamin, nailed R-Truth with a super kick. Shelton covered R-Truth and won the 24/7 championship. They all walked off together. I don't know what the purpose of this was. I really don't. I don't know why Shelton Benjamin needs the 24/7 championship. Why you got to take the 24/7 championship off of R-Truth. Unless you are going to burn that title, I don't see the reason why anybody in this company, other than R-Truth, should be the 24/7 champion. I don't. Every single person that touches that championship, it actually makes them worse. I don't give a shit who you are. That title was created for R-Truth. It fits his character. Just leave it on him. Otherwise, burn the fucking title. Honestly, give it to me. I would take great pleasure in doing it. Really, I would. And I'd put it all over social media. Now, with MVP, Apollo Crews, I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know what's happening with Apollo Crews. I mentioned on Twitter yesterday, I don't know why WWE just doesn't come out and say he has COVID. Somebody that I know down in the Orlando area said that they seen Apollo and his family shopping. He doesn't have COVID. I don't know what's going on. Then Dave Meltzer says today that the situation with Apollo is that he's got COVID. So he's got COVID. He doesn't have COVID. He's got COVID. He doesn't have COVID. I don't know what's going on. Either way, it's doom and gloom for Apollo Crews. He'll be back in catering, and Titus will be a happy individual sooner rather than later. MVP, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, man. I like the makeup of what they are together. It's nice to see Shelton Benjamin back on the show. The guy's way too talented to be wasted. He just signed a 5-year deal last year. Don't know what the fuck they were waiting for to use him. I like the makeup of what they are together. They look good together. You know, a lot of people on social media were saying, is this the new version of the Nation of Domination? We seen Ron Simmons, a.k.a. Farouk, right there. Is this the WWE's new version of the Nation of Domination? Now, obviously, they won't be called that, but they could be going by the name of the Hurt Business, because that's what Bobby Lashley's been going around saying. They're in the Hurt Business. So I don't know what's going on there, but I like the makeup of what Benjamin and MVP with Lashley do make together. I really do. So out of the break, out of this situation, they all walked to the ring. MVP made his entrance with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Once they got in the ring, MVP spoke and said last night at Extreme Rules he became the new United States champion. Said he didn't even break a sweat either. From there, he detailed why he did what he did, what Lashley did to Crews 2 weeks ago that prevented him from being the fighting champion he'd be. MVP said he didn't make any excuses, but that he made history instead. He said his victory was a foregone conclusion, and then from there, MVP said that after he and Lashley beat Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, that they'd go out and celebrate all of their championship gold. So, cue Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. They walk out. They ripped MVP from standing behind Lashley and called him a chump. This was not a good promo by Ricochet, by the way. I don't know why they opted to give him a microphone, but here we are. Cedric wasn't too bad, but this was not a good promo segment for either one of them. They said that they have been champions in WWE before, and they would do it again without him. Really? I'm surprised by that. Did Bruce give you his blessing? Unless Bruce says so. I don't see that happening. They would be champions again. In response, MVP called Cedric and Ricochet little kids that should be sitting in catering. Oh my God, what is he insinuating? That Cedric and Ricochet went in catering. They are seated at the kiddies table. Oh my goodness. I can envision right now Dana Brooke coming out with like those plates with the dividers. You got your main meal, you got your fucking candy for dessert, and you got your little green beans. What were those things that your mother used to buy in the supermarket? Kid cuisine, were they called? Right? Where you got like dino nuggets, you got like a fucking microwavable brownie, and you got your green beans or something all divided up. Like a good little boy, you eat the green beans, and then you eat the meal, and then you get your microwavable brownie. Kid cuisine, listen, I may be old. This one might have just gone way over your heads, but that's what I used to grow up with. So let me know if you guys remember that. That's exactly what I envision when I see Ricochet and Cedric Alexander in catering. They're sitting at the kiddie table, and Dana Brooke comes wobbling over and serves them all. Would you like some Hawaii C with that? Oh, Hawaii C, Hawaii C. Hawaiian punch? You want some Sips iced tea? You guys remember the Sips iced tea? I do. Full of sugar. Used to take that shit to school every fucking day, man. High C, Hawaiian punch, fucking what was that shit? Sun Kiss, the fucking thing where you take the straw and put it in the top. You never fucking popped it the right way, and then it spills all over the fucking place. Listen, man. I'm going back down memory lane over here. Let me get back on track. Anyway, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander said that they have a third partner, and that partner is making his return to Monday Night Raw. Folks, if I had music, if I had like fucking epic music, I might put it in the goddamn podcast, man. If I could do a post-edit, if I remember. I usually say that and then I don't remember. Fucking shit, man. Bruce! Bruce he found him! He found Mustafa Ali! My God! He's alive! He's alive! Bruce found Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali made his return to Monday Night Raw. Ali walked out and joined Alexander and Ricochet. Both teams then brawled, and we got ourselves a 6-man tag. Now, let me catch my breath here, man. All I do for you guys is entertainment, man, and then I fucking burn myself out. Listen, I'm glad Cedric Alexander and Ricochet have a spot on the show. They should be much more priority, but I'm going to just accept it for what it is, okay? They're in the lower echelon of Monday Night Raw importance. Mustafa Ali, this is his first match in 2020, I believe, from what I've seen on social media. Now, WWE did not explain why he came over to Monday Night Raw from SmackDown. I don't think WWE even cares. I don't even think they remember what brand he was on. He just shows up. I would like an explanation as to why he's on Monday Night Raw, because everybody knows social media doesn't forget, folks. The IWC doesn't forget. You should give us an explanation as to why he's on Monday Night Raw and what you did to acquire his services. That, obviously, just like Aleister Black and Seth Rollins and all that shit, there was no explanation for any of it. Now, I'm glad he's back on TV. The guy is mega talented. He is fucking awesome. I love him. He looks great. He is an absolute stud. How you could fuck him up, man, they just don't care. All three of those guys, to be exact. They just don't care. I'm not going to complain that he's on TV, but the guy's been off TV for how long? And this is the spot you pick to bring him back? Honestly? Now, I could have booked Mustafa Ali coming back better than WWE Creative could have ever brought him back. This is what you do with him. This is the extent of your creativity. This is the extent of how you care about Mustafa Ali. Now, granted, Bobby Lashley is, I guess, a pretty big deal. The United States Championship is a pretty big deal, right? But where is this going? Who is going to be vying for the United States Championship? Are you doing Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley? Are you going to get that title off of Apollo Crews and put it on Bobby Lashley? Is Bobby Lashley going to feud with each one of these guys over the United States Championship? If that's the case, then fine. Fine. I guess we're going to have to wait and see where this all goes and how it plays out. But if Mustafa Ali was brought back in a more priority role, in a more bigger role on Monday Night Raw, it could absolutely be done. Mustafa Ali is somebody that stands up for the greater good, not just in WWE, but in life in general. Mustafa Ali would have been the absolute picture-perfect opponent to someone like Seth Rollins to play off of that good versus evil going into SummerSlam. Now, maybe that's where WWE could potentially go in the future. But clearly, we're going to get a rehash of something Seth Rollins did this year at SummerSlam. Why couldn't you have brought back Mustafa Ali to be the greater good of WWE, to fight the evil that is Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw? There's no better individual to stand up for the good that is humanity, or the good on Monday Night Raw, than Mustafa Ali. It's as if WWE put no thought into bringing him back to television. They just put him with everybody else that right now they legitimately don't give a shit about. What I seen was not something that WWE actually tried to write and make sense of. They brought back Ali and put him in a feud and put him with guys that they don't give a shit about. One guy that they don't give a shit about will put him with the other guys that we don't give a shit about. That's all I seen. That's all I took away from this entire segment. Instead of them actually trying to make something good of him and book something different on this show, which we all know it fucking needs, they failed. No, but he's got TV time, and that's all the fucking blue check marks and the shills and all these other fucking half-witted idiots. That's all they'll hang their hat on. Oh, he's got TV time. Where the fuck was he for the rest of the fucking year? Give me a break. TV time. I'd rather not be on TV time, knowing how fucking terrible this show has been. They actually did him a favor by keeping him on fucking TV. 6-man tag. This wasn't bad at all. Ali, Alexander, and Ricochet win. We got a new stable in the Hurt Business. They go out there and lose already. WWE fails to book anybody and make them look dominant. Why would they lose this match? I don't really understand it. You got a United States champion, you just crowned a new 24/7 champion, as if that fucking matters to anybody. And then they go out there and lose. But I guess it's Mustafa Ali's first match back, and they had to give him a win. So at that point, I really don't give a shit, but they could have done so much better in regards to Mustafa Ali. Give me a break. Moving on here, man. By the way, let me go. I don't even want to go over the match because it wasn't anything all that special. It was great. But man, oh man, there was a spot in this match where Ricochet and Cedric Alexander held Bobby Lashley on the outside right in front of the commentary table. Ali, like a fucking bullet, dove through the middle rope with such force, and Lashley sold the shit out of that suicide dive so much that Lashley went rolling over the announce table. Excellent, excellent spot there. Ali is a stud. Keep him on television. Look at the mid-card that WWE has. You got Ricochet, Cedric, you got Ali back, you got Apollo, and you got Bobby Lashley. Look at the shit. Look at the talent you got there. Please utilize it and have fun with it. Those are 5 quality guys right there. Bobby Lashley, not so much to me, but he's been booked better than he has been in the last 3 years. Have fun with it. Shelton Benjamin now. Have fun with it. Please, do something better with these guys. Randy Orton cut a promo backstage. He wondered about moments back in time that may have changed his life. Orton talked about being in Evolution, beating Mick Foley, and becoming the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He said those were important moments, but not the moment that he believes changed his life. He said the moment that he was talking about was the moment he crushed Edge with a steel chair. He said after that, he realized all of his friendships were over with. He said that moment means sadness for others, but that it gave him satisfaction. He said he felt great to stand over Edge as he convulsed. He said he felt satisfied when he ruined Christian as well. Orton then said that tonight he would enjoy punt-kicking Big Show in the head and ending his career once and for all. This was a great promo by Randy Orton, but that's like me saying Three Philosophers by Omegang is the best beer ever. It's my favorite beer of all time, but you guys get my point. Randy Orton and anything that he has done on Monday Night Raw has been absolutely fantastic. Last week wasn't too much of a great promo. I think he kind of stuttered here and there. It wasn't as smooth as this one tonight, but this was something that was really fluid. It's rolled off the tongue. I love this vibe. I love this tone, and it set up the main event quite nicely with Big Show in the main event with that unsanctioned match ruling that they had to close the show. Christian. Speaking of Christian, he mentioned Christian and Edge. Christian joined the commentary team live from his home. Christian said that Randy Orton was one of the very best to have ever done it. He may be the best ever right now. He said he knew what he was getting into the night he fought Orton, but he didn't expect things to go down the way that they did. He called Orton low and said that he would never look at Ric Flair or Randy Orton the same way ever again. From there, Christian said that he was still healing up. He said that he doesn't feel good, but that he'd endure it again if it guaranteed that Randy Orton got what he got coming to him, or got what he had coming to him. Christian said that Big Show would be ready for any traps Orton had ready and would love to see Orton get knocked out cold by the WMD. This was not as good as Randy Orton, obviously, but I guess it got the job done. I don't know what they're doing with Christian or why they advertised Christian for Monday Night Raw tonight. I don't know if this is going to lead to Christian versus Randy Orton. At this point, I'm over it. I don't really see that being a thing here. But Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre is the way to go. If they're not getting Brock Lesnar back, which I pray to God is not the fucking case, Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre is your WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. I don't know what this does for Christian. Maybe this sets up Christian for something after Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship. Maybe he factors into the storyline after SummerSlam. I don't know, but clearly this was done for a reason. What that reason is, I guess we'll find out in the weeks to come. You know, I don't know what Seth Rollins is talking about when he's talking about the greater good of Monday Night Raw. What exactly is the greater good of Monday Night Raw? This is why I say Seth Rollins is a fraud. He is not the Messiah. I am the Messiah, and I bring upon you the greater good known as Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, because I want you guys to have the greater good in the bedroom. Today's podcast is brought to you by my good friends over at Blue Chew. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients such as Viagra and Cialis. You guys can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they are chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you guys can be ready for the greater good whenever the greater good and that opportunity arises. If you guys could benefit from more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor's office or wait in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your front door in a very discreet package. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they are cheaper than a pharmacy, and best of all, there's no more awkwardness. Guys, I have a special deal for everybody listening to Off the Script right here for the Monday Night Raw review. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free. Yes, absolutely free. F-R-E-E when you use promo code JD at checkout. Just pay the $5 shipping and handling. Again, guys, that's BlueChew.com. Promo code JD to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, and faster choice, and I want you guys to give your wife the greater good. BlueChew.com. And I want to thank them for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Bianca Belair was interviewed backstage. Belair said that being the EST means she is the biggest, the strongest, and the fastest in the WWE. You know, it's funny. It's funny. Bianca Belair says that she's the EST of WWE. So what would that make the WWE writing team? What would that make Bruce? You know, Bruce is also the EST of WWE. He's the laziest. He fits right into that category. He may actually be giving Bianca a run for his money. Gimmick infringement by my good old buddy Bruce on Monday Night Raw. So Belair said that last week she wanted to show up and help Ruby Riott out. As she was trying to talk, Peyton Royce confronted Belair and ruined the whole segment because she is moronic! Peyton Royce is idiotic! Peyton Royce, why? Why must we make a segment that I actually enjoy with Bianca Belair worse than it needs to be? She said that Belair should have helped someone with a better record. Riott came to the shot and interjected herself into the promo. And then Royce said that she has already beaten her once. So Royce name dropped Liv Morgan, which angered Ruby Riott. You're just going to be a loser like your buddy Liv Morgan. Belair told Royce that she was looking forward to seeing her get beat and then walked away with Riott. And then that was it. So we got Bianca Belair and Peyton Royce. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Ruby Riott and Peyton Royce. Bianca Belair doesn't need to be in the ring with this amateur known as Peyton Royce. I will say this, though. I give the Moronics a very difficult time on most weeks. But, man, Billy Kay. I watched Peyton Royce here. The one takeaway from this match, Ruby Riott won, by the way, which is not even a fucking big deal because the storyline of her losing is now obviously something that WWE is moving on from. But the one takeaway from this match, whatever, 2 minutes that it was, the one takeaway from this match that I picked up on was how bad Billy Kay was, and she wasn't even a part of the goddamn segment. Peyton Royce is so much more better. in the ring than Billie Kay. She really accentuates how bad Billie Kay actually is in the ring. The only thing about Peyton Royce that I don't like, she's got a great look. She could be good. I remember back in the day when I was actually big on Peyton Royce. I did not really give her any shit whatsoever, and I actually stated when NXT was an hour, and she came out looking like Poison Ivy. She was still with Billie Kay, but she was solo. They weren't really a tag team yet. They were just two friends. But Peyton Royce was actually growing on me. She had a lot of potential, and I did say that back in the day when I was reviewing NXT. But the thing with Peyton Royce is, man, she's got to be more intense. I don't know what it is with the flailing and the fucking... It's almost as if she's wrestling, and it reminds me of her just sitting in the nail salon getting her nails done. She's afraid to break a nail, you know, or she's sitting in the fucking wherever, you know, the fucking... She get a manicure and a pedicure. She's afraid to fucking touch anything, you know? It's disgusting. It really is. You got to be more intense. Show me that you're a professional wrestler and stop wrestling like Little Miss Priss. Stop it. That's not pro wrestling to me. You got to be more like Bianca Belair. Enough of this, oh, I'm afraid to touch anything. I'm going to break a nail mentality. Please. If she did that and actually worked on that, maybe I'd lay off the moronic statements. Maybe. That would be me taking away a fun part of my act, and I don't want to do that. So continue being garbage. I like it. Makes for more entertainment here on the podcast. Ruby Riott wins. Who gives a shit? Ruby Riott and Bianca Belair should remain a team. This is another thing I want to point out. I like the pairing. Now, obviously, it doesn't make sense for Ruby and Bianca to team over a Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. I'm assuming, don't quote me on this, that Liv Morgan has COVID. I'm assuming. Because everybody's going to assume that they had COVID, right? Otherwise, why would they be off TV? Vince is going to want everybody at TV. But I like the pairing simply because it's not Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. Even though that's where the story was going, as you guys could tell. It's not Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. It's something different. If it was Ruby and Liv Morgan, it would present something as far as this sameness feeling, and we don't want that. And Bianca Belair needs to be on TV. She needs to be, you know, somebody that they're constantly building up. And I think pairing her with Ruby Riott could be a good deal. Maybe they win the tag team championships. Maybe they go back down to NXT and defend those tag team championships against somebody in NXT. Could be really good. Now, with Sasha and Bayley doing that thing, you got to continue building up the other women on the roster. That's how you grow. That's how you grow. Charlotte Flair being out is actually a blessing to everybody. It really is. Ruby Riott wins by pinfall, and that was it with the Riott kick. Zelina Vega. She was backstage with Andrade and Angel Garza. Charlie Caruso interviewed all three of them, and Vega obviously was annoyed at Chuck. She said that they'd win their match tonight against the Street Profits and get one step closer to the tag team titles. She said the Street Profits have been MIA since her team started their dominance in the tag team division. I don't know what division you're referring to, but good on you, Ms. Vega. Andrade spoke and Garza did as well. As Garza was talking, the Profits attacked them, and then we went to commercial break. So it was a calculated attack by the Profits on Andrade and Garza. I don't really understand why this match is being booked. I really don't. Why are we getting this match on Monday Night Raw? This is another concern of mine. Another criticism of mine. The match was fine, but why are we getting this tag team match that should be booked at SummerSlam on Monday Night Raw? I don't really understand. Now, my mentality here is thinking in line of what WWE is doing. Now, I don't think the WWE realizes that Andrade and Garza have beaten the Viking Raiders twice, once in a regular tag team match and then in an elimination tag team match. Why do we need them in the ring with the Profits to what I thought was going to be a win for Garza and Andrade over the tag team champions to get them a tag team title shot at SummerSlam? When in actuality, they beat the only other tag team right now in the WWE, in Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. They should already be the number one contenders going into this match. So what is the point of having this match? I didn't really understand it. You're fucking things up. It doesn't make sense. If they win, it doesn't make sense. If they lose, then there's nobody else in the tag team division for the Street Profits to go up against at SummerSlam. So you're in a lose-lose situation here. But nobody thinks of that. Nobody realizes that. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, to fill you guys in on what you might have missed or what you might not be thinking while watching this shit show known as Raw. So we got the Profits against Andrade and Garza. This was an excellent match. I love the way these four guys work together. So eventually, it went back and forth, and eventually, Ford, who was being beat down, obviously the heels were getting heat on the babyface. Ford reversed a submission from Andrade, slammed him into the mat with a suplex. Ford tried to make the tag, but Andrade held him up. Ford then connected with an enziguri, made the hot tag to Angelo Dawkins. Dawkins entered the match, took out everything and everyone. He hit Andrade with a bulldog, made the cover. Garza broke up that cover, got a 2 count. Out of the pin, Dawkins lifted Andrade in the air for a double team move with Ford. Andrade counted it and sent Dawkins out of the ring. From there, Garza tagged in, joined in on Ford with the top rope. Ford comes off, and unbelievable frog splash by Montez Ford. The best frog splash in the business, bar none. Both men battle on the top rope. Ford got the upper hand, knocked Garza off. Frog splash, 1, 2, 3. The tag team champions win on television, and they beat who I thought were the number one contenders for the tag team championships. No longer are they the number one contenders. It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand why this was. This match should have been saved for SummerSlam. Whatever you were supposed to do, you didn't do. You should be building turmoil or a story here between these four guys to lead into SummerSlam. Now you gave us the SummerSlam match 4 weeks before SummerSlam. They lose clean in the middle of the ring. Now there's no reason for anybody watching this show to believe that Garza and Andrade deserve a tag team title opportunity going into SummerSlam. They'll make it a thing, and they'll try to make sense of it, and it won't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense at all. Why was this match made? Why did they lose? There's no other teams in the division. Unless the tag team titles are not going to be defended at SummerSlam, this shouldn't have happened. Excellent match. Absolutely shitty outcome. That's my take there. Profits win via pinfall. We got Angel Garza and Andrade talking backstage. Zelina Vega stormed in, yelling at both of them, called them stupid for blowing their moment. Garza and Andrade said that they were on the same page. Vega said, prove it and show me. And Andrade said they would. From there, Bayley walked out, going right into the next segment. Sasha Banks and Bayley now about to talk about the Monday Night Raw Women's Championship. So they walked to the ring, and Banks held up the Raw Women's Championship, acting as if she was the champion. Once they got in the ring, Bayley told the audience to show respect to the new Raw Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. 2 belts, Banks. Banks then spoke. By the way, I'm glad Sasha is not hurt. She looked great tonight, not hurt after that scary spot at Elimination Chamber. Extreme Rules, whatever. These fucking pay-per-views, they're all the same. They're all trash. At Extreme Rules, the horror show. But she slipped off the top rope. She played it off incredibly well. She was not hurt. She is an unbelievable actor because she fooled everybody and had everybody legitimately concerned. So I'm glad to see that she was okay. So Bayley told the audience to show respect to the new Raw Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. Banks was speaking. She said that a lot of people talked about her and accused her of stealing the championship, which, by the way, we have 2 situations on Raw where we have stolen championships. Sasha stealing the Raw Championship from Asuka, and the Raw Women's Championship, I should say, from Asuka, and MVP stealing the United States Championship away from Apollo Crews. So we got a thievery problem on Monday Night Raw. She said last night she fought for the title, whereas Asuka was just handed the title. This is where she brought up Becky Lynch handing the title to Asuka, and that the people were forgetting that. Oh, I didn't forget, honey. I didn't forget. So she said that Asuka almost blinded the referee with the green mist, and Bayley simply borrowed the referee's shirt because someone needed to make the 3 count. Bayley then chimed in and said that she had to make a choice and do the right thing. SASHA said that nobody needs to get it because she is the boss and she is 2 belts Banks. From there, they held up all the gold and said that they own all the gold. And they were celebrating in the middle of the ring. Sasha Banks cut a great promo here. She was very believable. She is easily at the top of her game right now. This is really, really great stuff by both her and Bayley right now. And I don't know what had happened in that match last night at Extreme Rules. It was going so well. A lot of people that I spoke to said that they were watching the match and they were ready to consider that probably the best WWE women's match of 2020 until the last 5 minutes. And then it just became a convoluted mess. Sasha slipping off the top rope, Sasha winning the match, quote unquote, and I use that term very loosely, with the nefarious means of Bayley, the mist into the referee's eyes, Bayley taking the referee's shirt, all this chaos and all this confusion. I don't know who had produced that match. I don't know who sat down and talked about the ending of that match. I would like to think that Bayley and Sasha Banks have a say in what happens here. And I don't know for sure, but if I'm a betting man, if I'm a man who kind of knows who Sasha Banks and Bayley are as performers and what all of this means to them and the legacy that they want to create and how they find moments to be the most important. They want everything that they do to matter. For all we know, Bayley and Sasha Banks herself might have had a hand in that ending. That might be the exact ending that Sasha Banks wanted for that match. I don't know. But all I know is, clearly, this is not going to lead to a breakup just yet. Because Sasha and Asuka have some unfinished business. And I'm going to get into that in a second. So, Asuka walked out. She started yelling that the Raw Women's Championship was hers. Banks told Asuka, come into the ring and take it from me then. All of a sudden, we see Stephanie McMahon appear on the big screen inside the Performance Center. She called Asuka and Banks last night at Extreme Rules a horror show, but that neither woman won the match. She said that next week, there would be a match to determine the winner, and that Banks could lose the match on a countout, on a disqualification, and by that, if Bayley interferes, she will lose the match and an opportunity at the championship. After Stephanie, Asuka, and Sane stormed to the ring, or after Stephanie didn't storm to the ring, she wasn't there. After Stephanie was done here expressing herself, Asuka and Sane then stormed to ringside, and we went right into Bayley versus Kairi Sane. A lot of people were expecting me to shit on this. I will not, because it made sense of what had happened. I'm glad that there was actually an authority figure that interjected themselves into this situation and made the confusion from Sunday night right. You can't do something like that and then have it go unnoticed, or you can't do something like that on Sunday night and then just go into Monday and have nobody say a goddamn fucking word about it. Stephanie McMahon did. No matter what you think of Stephanie, no matter, what you think of her when it comes to the women's evolution. I know there's a lot of jokes. Oh, ha, 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 she started the women's evolution. No, she didn't. We all know that's not the fact. She'll take credit for it, but that's not the case whatsoever. But it was nice that an authority figure in this company made sense of the confusion on Sunday night, and they said, you know what? Fuck this shit. Lay down the law. You are not the champion. We're going to determine who the real champion is and have a rematch next week. Simple. There's no way anybody could hate that. An authority figure stepped in to right the wrong and lay down the law. Much better than normally what WWE would do and just ignore everything and just make the match for next week and not have an authority figure mention anything that happened at the pay-per-view. I like it. It's good. Now that this doesn't mean that I want Stephanie McMahon back on Monday Night Raw as an authority figure, or I want an authority figure on the show. And if there is an authority figure, they should be like William Regal. It should not be Monday Night Raw revolving around the authority figure. We don't need that fucking shit no more. But somebody needs to lay down the law when the law needs to be laid down. And that's exactly what happened here. Good stuff. Bayley and Kairi saying this was very good. Bayley is at the top of her game right now. And a lot of people were asking, well, JD, Bayley is a champion. She lost on TV. Normally, I would say this is bad booking. But reports are that Kairi Sane is done with the WWE, that this taping was her last taping with the WWE. Her contract is up. She's going back to Japan to be with her husband, and she's going to do whatever she has to do over there. Maybe another couple of years in professional wrestling, but obviously the report said that she would always be welcome back into the WWE if she wants, and she will always be a part of WWE's extended family. So Kairi Sane, according to reports, is done, and this was her last match. And she did get the pinfall victory here. She did. So Bayley put Sane in an armbar submission, lifted her in the air to increase the pain on the submission. Sane broke free, and she hit a very well-placed elbow. After, she hit Bayley with a double stomp and covered, only got a 2 count. Sane connected with the insane elbow, beautiful, off the top rope, but couldn't get the cover right away due to the injured elbow. So the story of the match was the elbow. Eventually, she got there, only got a 2 count, but Bayley put her foot on the ropes to break up that pinfall. Out of the pin, Bayley hit Sane with a knee, followed it up with her own top rope elbow, which Bayley has a beautiful elbow drop of her own. Went for a cover, only got a 2 count. Out of the pin, Bayley went for the Bayley to belly. Kairi Sane countered the Bayley to belly into a 1-2-3 pinfall. And that was it. Really good match here. Some people think the outcome is surprising. I'm not surprised. Some people expected me to shit on it. I'm not going to shit on it. Bayley has won so many matches in recent memory. One loss here to Kairi Sane is not going to really do anything to derail Bayley whatsoever. At all. Bayley right now, I don't want to say she's bulletproof, because nobody's bulletproof in WWE. WWE could kill you at any moment. But right now, Bayley is somewhat on the right track, and a loss here is not going to derail what she's done as SmackDown Women's Champion. This was a beautiful send-off for Kairi Sane. She got a win over Bayley. She got a win over the SmackDown Women's Champion. And being that it was Kairi Sane's last match in the WWE, reportedly, I don't mind it. I don't really mind it. On any other night, I would have minded. On tonight, I don't mind it. It was a beautiful moment. Send-off. Happy for her. Hopefully she finds happiness away from the WWE. Drew McIntyre made his way to the ring. And he got into the ring and he was talking about his Extreme Rules match. I guess a one-sided Extreme Rules match against Dolph Ziggler on Sunday night. After Drew spoke and said that he needed to hand it to Dolph, he said this stipulation was brilliant and swayed the match in Ziggler's favor. He said Dolph did all he could with these stipulations and he almost had him. Drew said that almost, doesn't count. And that was the story of Dolph's career. Almost. Drew then spoke about SummerSlam. He said that he wanted a worthy opponent for that show. From there, Dolph Ziggler walked out. Nobody asked for him, but he came out anyway. Ziggler walked down the ramp and said at Extreme Rules he saw something in Drew that he'd never seen before. Ziggler said he saw fear. And as he kept talking, Drew interrupted him and asked, "Why are you out here? Why are you out here?" Ziggler said he saw fear and that he was very close to winning the title. Drew told Dolph that the answer to his challenge was no because he beat him with his own stipulation less than 24 hours ago. Ziggler kept pushing and pushing and pushing for Drew to give him a rematch. And Drew stopped him and said, "Listen, at this point right now, you are embarrassing yourself." Drew said he would save him from the embarrassment and leave. So he was going to leave the situation. As he did, Ziggler tried to grab him. "Don't walk away from me, you son of a bitch," says Dolph Ziggler. So Drew dropped him with a headbutt. Drew left. Ziggler kept egging him on. He said that Drew could have whatever he wanted, but that he just needed one more match. Drew said that he accepted the match. He would give Dolph Ziggler his rematch, but this time he gets to choose a stipulation, and Ziggler does not. Drew said that he would tell Ziggler the stipulation only before the bell rings. And then he left Ziggler in the ring to look on, but he got his title match with Drew McIntyre's rules and stipulations, which have not been determined yet. Now, I hope to God that this is not at SummerSlam. I really, really, really hope that this is not at SummerSlam. WWE did not give any indication that this was happening next week. We're getting Asuka and Sasha Banks next week. We do not have any indication that this match is happening next week. It's going to be Championship Monday all over again. I pray to God This is not going to happen at SummerSlam. If it does, Christian was on the show earlier. Could they be setting up Christian versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler happening again at SummerSlam? I don't see that being another match that people want to watch. How could they possibly give a shit about anything Dolph Ziggler? The guy has lost every fucking match he's been in all year. He lost at the pay-per-view clean. Why would anybody think this guy deserves another opportunity at the WWE Championship? At SummerSlam, the second biggest show of the year, mind you. I pray to God this isn't the case. We don't know yet. So we're going to have to wait and see. It might be revealed during the week. I don't know what's going to happen. But knowing them, this is your SummerSlam main event. Randy Orton's going one-on-one with Christian at SummerSlam. That's what WWE is looking at right now. That's the possibility. I hope to God that is not the case. Now, I don't know what stipulation Drew McIntyre could be thinking about, but I really hope that it's a you lose and you're done. Get the fuck off of TV. A career-ending match for Dolph Ziggler. You win this one, or you are finished as a pro wrestler in the WWE. Nobody wants to see Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler should have went away. He did not stay out long enough. He was out for 6 months, came back. It was not long enough for us to forget about all the terrible that Dolph Ziggler has been put through on this show. It's like every single opportunity WWE has, they want to make Dolph Ziggler a bigger loser than he was before. That's their motto. That is their priority here. Make Dolph Ziggler a loser. Nobody cares. Move on from this shit. This match better happen next week on Monday Night Raw. And then we get Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre going into SummerSlam. I hope that's the case. But WWE with this shit, having it happen again, it looks to me that they're driving or wanting to drive people away from the show in record numbers. Who could possibly care about Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre? It happened Sunday. Leave it at Sunday's show. We don't need to see it again. Big Show cut a promo backstage. I barely listened to it. He was talking about his history, and it really set up the match well. He said that he would face Randy Orton in a few minutes, and he called Orton the most dangerous man in the WWE. Show said that Orton had a great year so far, and that detailed the damage he did to Edge and Christian. He said that Orton is lashing out at everyone who's trying to help him, and Orton has sadistically taken out everyone on Orton's list of old friends. He said he knows that he may be next and understands where his health was at. Show said that he hoped legend killer Orton would never show up again. He said Orton's voices were screaming at him to have no compassion or sympathy. Show then said he was reminded of a time long ago where he and Randy Orton would ride into towns together. He said that they bonded a lot that time by talking about the complexities of the way they were presented in the wrestling business. Show said he had to ask himself a hard question, which was, is this the end for the Big Show? I certainly fucking hope it is. Said maybe it was, but that he would do anything and everything to make sure Randy Orton doesn't write the end of his story. So, Randy Orton and Big Show both had some decent Randy Orton's was much better than the Big Show's, but they had decent promos to set up the importance, if you even want to say it's important, the importance of the main event that we were about to watch. Randy Orton, Big Show, unsanctioned match here on Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton obviously wins via pinfall. Show was in control after the commercial break, crushed Orton with a shoulder charge. Show went for another one, but Orton hit him with a dropkick. Orton's got a beautiful dropkick, by the way. Grounded Show, took Show off the mat. From there, Orton went for the punt kick, but Show countered it into a choke slam. After Orton went for the cover, he only got a 2 count. In the end, Orton dodged an elbow drop through a table. Big Show went through the table instead. It looked like he was going for a Vader bomb more so than an elbow drop, but whatever. Show down, Orton hit the RKO, went for the cover. Show kicked out of the RKO, out of the pin. Orton grabbed the steel chair, hit Big Show on the back with the steel chair multiple times. Orton hit Show with a DDT, his draping DDT. Hit another RKO. Orton made the cover for the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. That was it. After the match, Orton punt kicked Show in the head and got in his ear and whispered sweet nothings to him and said, I told you. I told you. And then he started yelling, "I told you." And then he posed, and the show went off the air. Big Show loses. Goodbye. Hopefully he's off the show. Nostalgia needs to die a miserable death on this show. Randy Orton, clearly he is the best thing on this show. They should be setting him up for a WWE Championship match against Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. But again, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I don't have any answers for you. Usually I'm a man of many words. When it comes to this situation after tonight, I have no fucking idea what they're doing. You would think that Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre makes sense. But knowing WWE, with what they did with Dolph Ziggler, they did rewrite the show. They did rewrite the show. This might have been in the rewrites. Christian, come on down. Come on down, Christian. Come on down. It's not the right choice. Christian and Randy Orton. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. Really is a summer scam, if you ask me. Anyway, I'm getting you know what's a scam? This fucking Monday Night Raw. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Thank you guys so very much, man. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up. Not a thumbs in the middle or a thumbs down. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below as well. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Check out all the other videos that you might have missed down below in the description. Patreon.com/JD206. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Follow me on Twitter at JD206. And let me know if you guys want to see this t-shirt, man. Would you buy Doing God's Work? The official Off the Script t-shirt design coming soon to bonfire.com. Let me know what you guys think of that down below. I'm getting out of here. I will see you right back here. Maybe I'll have some extras this week. I have no idea. We'll see what happens in the world of pro wrestling. News coming out of Extreme Rules, news coming out of Raw. I might have some extras for you this week. And I will see you guys right back here on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. We got Wednesday coming up, man. Dynamite and NXT is the next time I'll see you right here on Off the Script. Until then, again, hit that thumbs up. Thank you for joining me, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you right back here on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. See you guys then.